and I welcome all of you to this afternoon session. As you all know, the topic is typesetting mathematics using LaTeX. We have Dr. Pravas K, Assistant Professor from the Department of Mathematics, 𝐾𝐾TM College, Pullur. He have completed his PhD from Cochin University for Science and Technology and have started his career as a lecturer at 𝐻𝐲𝐻𝐿 𝐬𝐴 in 2005. He has memberships in many mathematical societies and coordinated national seminars under the Department of Collegiate Education. I welcome you, sir, to this platform.
So hello everyone. First of all, I thank ASAP Kerala for this initiative and giving me an opportunity. And I also thank my principal, Dr. 𝐒𝐜 for introducing me to this program. So the topic I am going to discuss today is typesetting mathematics using LaTeX. So this will be a beginner level. Basically, you can see that in the syllabus of Calgary University this year in MSc Mathematics, there is a professional competency course where a student can select any one of the following three courses. One is technical writing with the LaTeX. The other two are scientific programming with the Scilab and scientific programming with the Python. So today I will be dealing with handling this technical writing with LaTeX, where you can see the syllabus of it, which starts from the installation of the software LaTeX. Anyway, I'm not going to more technical details of installation. I will be providing for that, and it contains understanding LaTeX compilation, basics, index, writing equations, matrix tables, and so on. So I'm going to divide this part into three parts. So here you can see some green, orange, and red zones. All of you are familiar with these types of things now. So in this 1 hour, I can easily handle these first 4 sessions, and if time permits, we can handle this orange area. But you can see that the last 2 of them are in red. So I'm not going to present that details because we need a more time to handle red zones that we know. Now, the contents of this presentation include starting from the introduction and the software, then some basics. Mostly I will be dealing with the typesetting mathematics. Then you will also see how to prepare tables, metrics, and so on. And I will be including how to handle pictures in LaTeX, referencing and cross-referencing. And finally, I will be giving some time to error handling, because if there are any doubts or any program that you are parallelly doing, I can help you. Now, I plan to give an online training, not through slides, but I have some slides for you. So first thing, have you heard about LaTeX? If not, I have an answer for that, because LaTeX is a free software. That may be the reason that you may not have known this software. And it is a typesetting program, not a word processing program. Now, LaTeX is good to use if you want to write scientific documents, especially mathematics. Now, also you can see that LaTeX is a programming language. So, which means that once your program is okay, means correct, then you can produce the same output in all systems available to you. Means if you are using Windows, Linux, or Mac systems, or even in mobile, you can have the same output. Okay, usually the outputs of LaTeX will be in PDF or device independent form, or that is DVI is also available, or PS, PostScript forms. Now again, 1 or 2, 3 slides. Now the aim of this course or this class is to provide you an online tutorial, also to compare this LaTeX with your WYSYWYG program. So what is that? So this says that what you see is what you get type programs. So you may know that in word processor, whatever you type, that is what you are getting. Okay, but LaTeX is not in that type. In LaTeX, you have to use an editor, or you have to put some commands and you are typing, and you need to process it or compile it and to produce your output. Okay. Now, if you compare this LaTeX with your WYS, WYSI, WYG programs, that is what you see is what you get programs. You can see that the writing mathematics compared to, even if the word processor are providing some writing mathematics options, the LaTeX produces the best quality while dealing with the mathematics equations. Whereas the cross references bibliography or some other things, you can see that only these things are only available in LaTeX. Now, the last option, you can see that it can communicate with the different softwares, because since it is a programming language, it can combine with any other programming, for example, R or Python or Java programs are also have combination or can be combined with this LaTeX. If you check Sage Mathematics, one of the leading websites, open source leading websites in mathematics, which is a software tool for scientific programming, it can combine all these types of programmings, that is LaTeX, R or Python, in under one window. Now, as many of you know, I always start my class with this picture. So you will understand this picture sometimes later. Anyway, I have an introduction for that. That is this lion. I always call him as the ambassador, brand ambassador of LaTeX. What he is doing is that he's trying to place some of the texts, mainly La and Tech, somewhere. And what he is using is that he's trying to use, or he is using an advanced machine to put these texts together, right? Now, this is the pro and cons, or both of LaTeX. That is, in order to do some simple things or difficult things, you need to have the same procedure. You need to do the same procedure. Sometimes that text La and Tech may be lightweighted, where you can actually handle them with your own hands, and sometimes it may be very high rich text where it is not possible to do it with other word processors. In any case, you can handle them with the same set of commands or same set of operations. So that is what the meaning of this picture. This, you can see this picture in the chapter 1 of the very basic textbook of LaTeX of Leslie Lambert, who introduced LaTeX to us. Now, the second picture is that who is actually going to work. You can see that actually you are not working, so your computer is going to work, since it is a programming language. So you just need to know the basic steps for the operations, and your computer is going to work for you. Now, let us continue. So let me show you two names, Donald Knuth and Leslie Lambert. Donald Knuth is the one who introduced tech to us, and the Leslie Lambert who made it to Lambert Tech, or our scientific tech. So we are using LaTeX today. Okay. Now you can have your LaTeX in your system, any system, Linux systems or Windows or Mac, by having two types of things. That is, one is the package, the MIKTeX distribution, or sorry, the LaTeX distribution. In Windows, it is a MIKTeX. You can note the website now. It is miktex.org, where you can have the LaTeX distribution. And there are many editors. As I told you, there are editors where you need to type and process. So one of the editor I use is Technic Center. There are many other editors, many other easy editors maybe for you. So anyway, I am just presenting one editor, which is called the Technic Center. Now, how to install means it is just like a software. You need to download the exe file and install. Okay, so I don't want to spend a lot of time for that. So as I said, my aim is to provide you some tutorial to start typing. So next I am going to share you another slide. Okay, so here I have shared you one more window. Now this is the editor, editor technique center. Now what you have to do is you have to type some commands to produce your required text, where you can convert your text to DVA format, which is called the device independent. Means whatever be the operating system, you can view that, or to PDF or HTML or two other different options using different techniques. Okay. Now to study basic LaTeX, you just need to know three commands. So what are the three commands? The first command is that what are you going to type? Okay, so let me type it as, okay, it is slash document class, and there's a curly bracket open for you. So from this you have to understand that any commands in LaTeX start with a backward slash, usually I call it a slash, and the name of the command, it is the document class. So what you are going to type, that is the question here. Now there is a curly bracket. The curly bracket is the place where you need to enter your arguments. So here you can either type article or type reports or type book or beamer, or there are hundreds of such options. So what is that? So this is where you need to specify that whether you are going to write an article or report. So you can see that an article is where now chapters present. So if you are going to type an article or scientific article, you need to write article there. Or if you are trying to make a project, then you need to have a report, because you need chapters in your project, right? Now if you are going to publish it as a book, you can use it as a book. Okay, you can use a book option there. Now if you are trying to present, for example, my presentation is also made in LaTeX, where I used the document class beamer. Now this is the first command. Now next we are going to start the document. So for that you need to tell the LaTeX that you are going to start the document. So what is the command for that? It is /begin documents. Okay. Now whenever you start something, you also have to tell the LaTeX that where you are going to stop your commands. So I also need to type /end of the same, that is /end document. Okay. Now let me start with some sentence. This is my first LaTeX document created today. Anyway, I am going to write it as created on today. Okay. Now if I run this, there is a button. Usually there will be some button in your LaTeX editor or some shortcut key available to you. If I run that, they will ask you to save your documents. Okay, so let me run that command. So they are saying that you need to save the file first. Okay, I don't know whether it is possible to see the dialog box. Anyway, I am going to type the name of your document as Assam. Okay, so here you can see that I have made or I have compiled the documents, and this is the output. I hope the moderators are watching. I am showing both the software and PDF documents here. Now you can see that this is my first LaTeX document created on today. Okay, now actually it is created today, but there is a reason for that. Now I am going to change some commands or some letters, or I am going to convert some of the text to, for example, LaTeX to capital L, small a, capital T, small e, and capital X. Created on, okay, so it is /today, right? Now, if I run it again using the build and view button, here you can see that I am going to make a PDF file for that. Anyway, if I run that, you can see that what you can see is, okay, this is my first LaTeX document created on May 7th, 2020. So what you can see that corresponding to each command, something is there for you. Okay. Now, there is some problem with this text. Can you see that? Yes. This is my first LaTeX space document. Okay, but there is no space here. Okay. So in order to provide a space, we need to have a command. So you may be currently thinking of your favorite document processor. However, in LaTeX you can see that in order to produce a single space, you need to write slash and a space. Okay. So now if I compare, you can see that this is the first LaTeX document. There's a space available there for you, created on May 7th, 2020. Now, let me go to the next line. Okay. Usually, as I present, like I'm going to write in a line that, in the next line that, this is not the second line in your documents. Okay. So this is not the second line, but you can see that I wrote it in the, or I typed it in the second line of the document, but still I am saying that this is not the second line in your document. Why? Because you can see that if I run that, that line presents or comes in the first line itself. Okay. So in order to have a second line, or in order to go to another line, you need another command. Okay. So you may be feeling this typesetting very difficult, because in order to bring a small space, you need a command. In order to go to a second line, you need a command. The command is /. So if you put a /, I can remove this node, because I know that this is going to be the second line. So if I compile this, you can see that this is my first LaTeX document created on May 7th, 2020, and there is a second line. Okay, this is the second line in your document. So usually these types of problems are not with your favorite document processors, but I can see that these are the only few difficulties that you or time you need to spend with your LaTeX documents. However, there are some time-saving options in your LaTeX. So I will show you that by an example. Suppose I am going to type few more lines like this. Okay. So what is the expected outcome? Yes, there will be, this is the second line or third line. Okay, this is the next line in your document, like that in each line, right? Now I am going to change the space counts, or single space to multiple spaces. Now what is the output of this document? I mean, this may be unexpected for many of you, because you can see that even though there are multiple spaces between two words, you can see that there are only single spaces between the corresponding text. Now this is the first advantage of, I usually mention it as the first advantage of LaTeX over your word processing systems. Why? Because the LaTeX is actually designed for typesetting. The last stage, or which is the final stage, just before the publication of your document. Now, even if it is your Microsoft Word or whatever be your favorite document processing systems or LaTeX, you need to type your document. That is the clear thing, because whatever the content you want to display in your textbook, you need to type it. But if you want to edit, or when it comes the time to edit your documents, you spend a lot of time. You can see that in your other word processing programs. But here, as in this case, you can see that you don't need to spend too much time. The first case that you need not spend too much time to spend to adjust the space in your document. That is the first thing, because usually we say that the most used key in a keyboard is that it is a backspace. Whether you are WhatsApping or typing your LaTeX documents, not LaTeX, not documents, the most used key in your keyboard is the backspace. So here, the first thing is that you don't need to worry about backspacing. The text is automatically adjusted in a way which is required for it. Now let me come to the mathematics. Okay, so here I am going to type, consider a function, right, sorry, f of x. Now I also want to produce the same line again, consider a function f of x. Now if I run that, you can see that there are multiple lines saying consider a function f of x. There is a paragraph indentation. You can see the first line, and there is no indentation for the second line. Now you can see that this started as a new paragraph. Why? Because you actually inserted a blank line here. So a blank line or more than one blank line produces a new paragraph. So if it is multiple blank line, you don't need to adjust that number of blank lines in LaTeX, because you can see that even or one or more than one blank line or blank space considers as a single blank line or blank space respectively. Now coming to mathematics, so here you can see that both f of x are the same, but if I change the second f of x to dollar f of x dollar, that is, I know that, or we know that this f of x is a math expression, and I am going to tell the LaTeX that a math expression is going to type here. So for that, I introduced a dollar sign here. Then I typed the mathematics expression. Then whatever I begin, I should stop. Okay, I should stop at somewhere. I should end at somewhere. So at this stage, I told LaTeX that a mathematics expression is going to start. Then I have the mathematics expression here for you. Then I need to stop that, or I need to end that. So I put one more dollar sign. So this means that a beginning of a mathematics expression, and there is a mathematics expression, and the end of a mathematics expression symbol. Now let us see the output. So now what can you understand? If I zoom this, you can see that this is the display that we usually see in good mathematics textbooks. Okay, so I'm going to call it good mathematics because this is the standard expression that we use for f of x, and this is some capital F and x, where this is some f of x, which usually stands for a function. Now what we understand is that whenever you need a mathematics expression, you need a dollar symbol. So I am going to type another mathematics expression. So let me write it as some E is equal to mc square. So what I should write? Consider E is equal to mc square. So for that, E is equal to mc square is a mathematics expression. So I am going to type dollar symbol. I typed a dollar symbol. Then E is equal to mc square. So there is a square you need, right? Or you need a dollar symbol to close the thing. So if I type that, sorry, if I run that, you can see that this is going to display like E is equal to mc square, the required. So what can you understand is that here whenever you need a superscript, you need a cap. So I'm going to just enlarge the display using another command so that I don't need to, I can save my time to zoom this window every time. So let me introduce a new command to you. So I can either write /LARGE. So this will change the font to some large level, or I can also change /L capital large, or I can change to LARGE. Now you can see that if I produce the output, the corresponding output, yes, is like this. Now I think it is visible for everyone without much problem. Okay. Now this is for superscript. Now how to bring subscript? So you have, it is E underscore say 4 will bring you E suffix 4. Okay. So I will be spending some more time on these small expressions because this is the starting phase of our class. Now you can see that E4 is equal to MC square is obtained. Now let me type x square plus y square is equal to z square, right? So this is x square plus y square is equal to z square. Okay, I don't need to show you the display because you know that. Anyway, let us see that it is the required x square plus y square plus is equal to z square. So what I typed dollar. I started with the dollar, then the mathematical expression, and then one more dollar to tell the LaTeX that the mathematical expression is over. Now the first aim is to write this as an equation. So you know that this is an equation. So how to write this as an equation? So if I put double dollar, okay, in the starting and ending of your mathematical expression, the LaTeX identifies that this is some displayed expression. Okay, so one single dollar is enough to tell the LaTeX that it is a mathematical expression, and the double dollar says that it is a displayed mathematical expression. So what is the difference? So here in the output you can see that yes, that expression comes centralized, and it assumes that there are some space available just above and just below the expression. Okay, you may not feel the difference. Anyway, I will show you with another example. Consider, so I am going to write /int. So what is /int? /int is the command for the integral side. Okay, so you can see that /int is for integral and /sum is for sum, and there are many such operators, and for every such operator you need a command. This is not difficult because the project you may be doing, it may be some specialized mathematical area where there may be a few mathematical concepts and notations. So you just need to be familiar with the corresponding symbols. Okay. So this /int stands for integration. So I am going to type. Yes, I am going to integrate x square plus 3x plus 1 and dx is the okay. So that is, it is not no x square, it is x square plus 3x plus 1. Now here you can see the difference. So here I typed integral x square plus 3x plus 1 dx, but the symbol is very small since this is an inline text, and not only that I have enlarged the text. Okay, so but when it is a displayed formula, you can see the difference. So I'm going to tell the LaTeX that this is a displayed formula. So I can put a double dollar for that. So I can put double dollar and obtain a displayed formula. Now you can see that the integral sign is displayed. Now if the corresponding large option is deleted, then you can see that the usual in the usual text size, this is the appropriate size which is required for your document. Now, how to bring an equation? So here I am going to introduce an equation. So I am going to tell the LaTeX that I am going to begin an equation. So what will be the command? It will be /begin equation and /end equation. But anyway, since I am using a editor which is a Technic Center editor, or you may be using different other editors, you can introduce such environments using some techniques, some keyboard shortcuts. For example, here I am going to type EQU. So once that is available with me, I can see that some commands are displayed automatically. Okay, so it is some begin equation and end equation is displayed. So I can complete that with some keyboard shortcut. It is control space at this time. So this is begin equation and end equation. Okay, now once begin equation and end equation is there, you can see that some other things are also displayed. As I am going to remove that for the time being. So you have a begin equation and end equation. So you are going to tell the LaTeX that you are going to enter an equation. So let me write it as some 4 is equal to 1 plus 1 plus 2. Okay, this is an equation. Now, if you run that, yeah, what happens? The LaTeX not only displayed the mathematical expression as a displayed formula, they put an equation number for that. So whenever you need an equation number, you can use that begin equation and end equation. Now I am going to put one more equation though. Okay, so /begin equation, or I have a shortcut which says that begin equation and end equation. There is something more. I am going to delete that. I will tell you that later. Okay, now I have one more equation. So it is 3 is equal to 1 plus 1 plus 1. Okay, I'm not going to make some complicated equations. Currently I'm focused on inserting equations in LaTeX. So this is another equation. So what you are going to get? You are going to get another equation with an automatically number, right? So since this is the second equation that we inserted, this is the equation with the number 2. Now I am going to refer the first equation that I am going to say that this 1 plus 1 plus 2 is a partition of 4. Okay, so I am going to say that the above equation. Okay, so which equation? This can be this or that. Anyway, the above equation gives a partition of 4. But if someone reads this, then they may be having confusion whether this equation or this equation is an. I am having another useful tool from LaTeX. So this says that the above equation gives a partition of 4. So here I am going to change this to the above equation /ref. So /ref is a command to refer some equation, okay, or some environment. So here I am going to refer the first equation. So how to label or how to refer this equation? For that, I am going to reinsert that deleted part. So here you can see there is a command /label where I can put some label for the equation. So I may be writing it is PART 4, that is partition of 4. Okay, so here I can write this as I am going to refer this equation This equation has a label PART4. Okay, so I just need to enter that key, which I refer as the key. Okay, so this is the label, and this key, once placed, I can see that the above equation. So there will be a question mark anyway. Yeah. The above equation question mark gives you a partition of 4. Now, what is the problem here? The problem is that here you are typing in LaTeX and LaTeX is producing a PDF file here, but LaTeX is actually involved in producing multiple things. Okay, so what are the multiple things? Yes, whenever you write a label, in one place LaTeX is going to tell us, LaTeX writes that this equation has label 1. Okay, or this label corresponds to this equation. Now, somewhere else you are asking what is the corresponding label part 4. Okay, since LaTeX is doing these processes simultaneously, you can see that it is not possible for LaTeX to recall that which is the correct expression for this part 4. Okay, but once this compilation is over, LaTeX is ready with the answer. So what you have to do? Since LaTeX is ready now, you have to do one more compiling to produce the required text or required expression. Now you can see that the above equation 1. Okay, I know that this is the required equation. So automatically it is numbered 1, gives a partition of 4. Now this is the advantage of LaTeX. Right. Now, if you feel then how this is going to be an advantage, I am going to place the same problem before you. Suppose you are doing this in your own word editor, or I am not going to specify a particular software. So let it be some word processing program. Now, one problem is that the situation is like that you need to interchange these two equations. Okay, so if you need to interchange these two equations, what you have to do in your favorite word processor? Yes, you need to copy this. Okay, you can directly not able to copy one single part of that. You know, you need to copy that equation together with the equation numbering. So you may be copying this to copying this or cut and paste it below the second equation, where you can see that this equation will be having number 2, where the second equation will be having number 1. So you need to edit these things. That is, you need to edit 3 is equal to 1 plus 1 plus 1 to from 2 to 1, and after that you need to edit 4 is equal to 1 plus 1 plus 2 to from 1 to 2. Okay, but what actually I told you, I just told you to interchange these two equations. Okay, so but you have done many other processes in your favorite Word documents. Okay, but in LaTeX you just need to obey the exact requirement. Okay, so what is the requirement here? The requirement is that I asked you to interchange these two equations, right? So in LaTeX you just need to interchange by this by copying or cut this and paste below this, right? So you actually did, or you copied or cut pasted the required fields to the required places. Now your process is over. Okay, now let me show you. Now you can see that yes, the above equation 1 gives a partition of 4. What is equation 1? This is the equation 1, but this is wrong. We actually need this as equation. We actually need equation 2 here. Why this is so? Yes, I already told you that LaTeX is doing multiple processes at a time. So in order to do this, or you need to correct this, you need one more processing. Okay, so let me do that, and you now the problem is okay. Right. So here you can see that 3 is equal to 1 plus 1 plus 1 is having equation 1. 4 is equal to this having equation 2. And you correctly referred the partition of 4. Right. Now here you can see some problem. What is that? The equation, the above equation 2. Right. So there you actually need a space. But we already know a command to place a space here. Okay, so what is the command? It is slash space. But I don't recommend to place a slash space here. So here you need to place a slash space. So I don't recommend you. I recommend to use another operator, which is tilde operator, to insert a space in a place like this. Why? Because you can see that this tilde not only produces a space, it produces a bonding space between these two parts. Okay, so which means that whenever this tilde is here, this equation together with the 4 will always appear as a single string, right? That is, whenever you run or whenever you place tilde, you can see that 4 is always on the right side of 2. Suppose you are going to type, you are having an equation where the equation part will be in one line and 2 will be in the second line. Okay, so you know that it is not good to present an equation like that. So for that you need to bring tilde, so that whenever you need these 2 along with your equation, you can satisfy that condition. Now let me introduce some more mathematical concepts. Whenever you need, if you need more than one equations at a time, do you actually need to type a begin equation and end equation each time? No. You can see that tech provides another command for that. So when you have an array of equations, right? So I use the word array of equations. So when you need more than one equations at a time, I can introduce you EQN array commands. So whenever you introduce something to LaTeX or you begin something, some environment in LaTeX, you need to end that. So the command should be begin equation array and end equation array. Now I am going to type the some equations. So this will be a 3-column environment, which gives you, for example, 4 is equal to 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1. And in order to go to the second line, there is a command, you know. So let me write as 4 is equal to, say, 3 plus 1. Let me write one more equation. Say 4 is equal to 2 plus 2. Okay. Now, before proceeding, I am going to put some dollar symbol before, sorry, and symbol before and after that equal to sign. So why is that? Because I already told you that this is a 3-column environment. So this says that you need to specify in which column which expression should be in. For example, you are going to say that this you can see that this and symbol actually separates the expression to different columns. So 4 comes in the first column, is equal to in the second column, and this in the third column. So if I run this, you can see that you can simultaneously, or you can obtain 3 equations at a time, where that equations have numbered 3, 4, 5, because already you have 1 and 2 here. And yes, that equal to sign is arranged in such a manner that yes, it's look beautifully, right? Now as mathematical expressions involving same left hand side, usually you can delete that. So I can actually delete the first column parts from the second and third equations and obtain, yeah. So what you can see, this is just 4 is equal to first expression, which is equal to the second expression, which is equal to third expression. This is obtained by deleting the first the expression from the first column, that is the expression before the and symbol. Okay. Now, if you don't need equation numbering for all these equations, what you should do? Suppose you don't need 3, 4, 5 here. What you should do here? Okay, you can put a star. So this star simply removes equation numbering or environment numbering. Okay, so if I put a star here, that equation numbering will also be removed from that part. Now I have an equation array star. So if I run that, you can see that, yeah, you have 3 equations and one set of equations here, right?
Sir, excuse me.
Now, yes.
Yeah, so we
Go on.
have 10 more minutes, so
Ah.
we can you can take another 5 to 8 minutes more.
Right.
Okay.
Now I am coming to the syllabus parts. So here you can see that so I started with the basic writing equations. I am going to introduce how a matrix can be inserted or how a table can be inserted. Okay. Now coming to new sections. So I am going to modify my document too. So by inserting some section numbering here. So what you can see, I inserted section. So this is general introduction, okay, and this is some section where you can see that this is some mathematics, okay, and here I am going to type /section multiple equations. So what you can see is that I divided our document to multiple sections, or I named the sections to multiple equations. Okay, multiple equations, mathematics, and general introduction. Okay. Now, in order to change this to a project, I already told you that you need to change this article to a report. Okay. So if I change this to a report, what you can see is that this has changed to a report. Okay, there you can see that corresponding to that document, you actually produced a report where a chapter numbering is missing. I will introduce that later. So you can see that this is the first section of your document, right? This is the second section. Automatical numbering is appeared in your corresponding sections. Now let me introduce a chapter also. So here, if I put a chapter, so a chapter number is given to you. So this is a report, which means that this is going to be a single-sided book. So if I run that, what you can see that, yeah, automatically chapter 1 heading is here, and a chapter heading in a required more means satisfactory font heading style, and your section numberings are automatically renamed to what? Yes, the first chapter, first section, first chapter, second section, and so on. Now let us see the equation numbering. This is the first equation in first chapter. This is the second equation in first chapter, and so on. Now let me show you one more command and go to the table parts. So here I have / table of contents. So what is table of contents? And if you have ever done your project in other word processing programs, you can see that a table of contents is the most difficult part just before the publication of your documents. So what you can see is that here is a contents option, and there you actually need to type your chapter name and corresponding page number, section name, corresponding page number, right, and so on. When there are some 5 chapters and some 20-30 sections, how did you do that if you have done in project before? Okay, the case is different in LaTeX. For example, okay, here there are some error. Okay, I actually need to place this commands after begin document. Okay, that is the error. Now I can show you what is the output. Now I already told you that it is a computer that is going to work for you. So what you can see that all the contents are ready for you, right? the LaTeX for all is a chapter name with the correct section number or page number, and all the sections are correctly numbered. And whenever you edit your document, you can see that this table of contents automatically adjusted for it. Now coming to two more sections: how to insert a figure and how to insert a matrix. Now let me start with a figure. Figure is a very easy part. So here I am going to insert a figure. So how to tell the LaTeX that you are going to insert a figure? Yes, it is begin figure and end figure. So let me type like FIG. So all commands will be automatically available here. Now what is that? Begin figure and end figure. So here first you will be inserting a command for figure. Okay, so this is that. Next you will be inserting a caption for your figure. Okay, it is there, and a label for your figure. Now how to insert a figure? Here I need to tell you that this command is not actually recognized by LaTeX, basic LaTeX. Okay, because if you run this command, you can see that some errors will be there. Then how to solve that problem? You can see that LaTeX actually provides a set of commands or different sets of commands in different packages. So I need to tell the LaTeX that please look for the package, the corresponding language which I need to write like. Okay, tell the LaTeX that use package graphic X. This is one of the package. For example, this AMS math is another package where you can very easily type mathematical expressions. Okay, or AMS THM, you can introduce many by putting commas. AMS THM is another command. Anyway, in this case I am going to introduce a figure I have done with appropriate package, and the only thing you need to fill is that a file name. So what is a file name? A file name can be inserted by okay, I'm going to show you my folder where I have done this problem. I think the folder is already available with you. I need to tell that if it is not there, I'm going to means I need to tell that whatever be the picture with you, you need to place that picture in the corresponding folder where you are working. Okay, for example, here this is the file ASAP file that I am working here, and there is a picture, a small picture, which is 𝐾𝐿 logo. Okay, which I am going to insert now. So what is the name of the file name? It is 𝐾𝐿 logo. So I am going to insert or replace this file name with the name of the file name. Okay. Now what is the caption? The caption will be this. Sorry. This is the logo of 𝐾𝐿 College. This is my own institute. And label. Okay. Some label. So I am going to place 𝐾𝐿. Now let me show you what is going to happen. Okay. Oh, this is a very big picture. Why? Because yes, you told the LaTeX that the width of your picture should be the column width. Column width means the entire column width. So let us restrict that. So I am going to tell that I just need a 0.25 part, that is 1/4 of the column width. Okay. So I am going to run that again. Now you can see that, yeah, your picture is ready with some appropriate size, and figure 1.1. This says that this is the first figure in the first chapter, and what is the caption? You remember that this is the logo of 𝐾𝐿 College. Now this is not centralized, so we can insert that with a command. So I am going to say that this picture should be centering, that is 𝐶ENTERH. Okay. Now, if I change that, yeah, this is centralized. Now, you can see that this figure actually came just after the second equation, but the figure actually appeared somewhere else. Why? Yes, usually LaTeX provides or LaTeX adjusts its environments in such a way that it is some in a floating manner that some unexpected the figures with some figures or environments with some unexpected size are moved to a new page. So in order to tell the LaTeX that you need your file, it's here itself, you need to insert an optional argument, or you can see that I am going to type /begin figure and some h in the square bracket. So this says the LaTeX that I need my figure here. So what is the place of that here? Yes, this is just after. Sorry, I can see that this is just after the equation. Okay, this is just after the multiple equations. So there is no space. Again, once again, it became the floating part. That is floating environment means the LaTeX moved that environment to the next page. So if I put this figure somewhere else, so in order to change the figure, you just need to copy the entire commands, and under this equation, I'm going to place that. So if there are enough space for that, you can see that the corresponding command. Yes, this is just after the figure. Now I am going to show you how to introduce metrics and so on things.
Sir, excuse me, sir.
Yes.
Sir, we have only 2 to 3 minutes left. Or shall we proceed to the Q&A session?
Yes. Okay. I'm showing an equation here. I think they can
after that.
see the corresponding thing there. Yes, they may ask the questions.
സർ ആദ്യം വന്നിരിക്കുന്ന ഒരു ക്വസ്റ്റ്യൻ ഈ ലാറ്റക് എന്ന് പറയുന്നത് ഒരു പ്രോഗ്രാമിംഗ് ലാംഗ്വേജ് ആണോ എന്നുള്ളതാണ്. ഒരു വിനോദ് കുമാർ ആണ് ചോദിച്ചിരിക്കുന്നത്.
യെസ്, അപ്പൊ ഞാൻ അത് ഐ ഓൾറെഡി given in the first slides itself that this is a programming language where you don't need to worry about the line in which it is typing. Okay, so you just need to provide the here I have shown that it's a programming language, it's a markup language basically. So you need to type the, or you need to check the proper commands in order to produce your required documents. No need to worry about the spacing and other things.
Okay. Sir, അടുത്തൊരു question, how to import maths tools into the LaTeX? Okay. Maths tools നെ നമുക്ക് എങ്ങനെ import ചെയ്യാം?
Okay. I don't understand the question by saying that math tools. If we mean that math equations or other packages, I mentioned it during the class that you can introduce math tools is also a package. You can introduce that using use package notation. Okay, so math tools is also a package. I know that. So you need to introduce that by the command /use package and then typing math tools. But there are a lot of commands in that. I don't remember the commands actually, but you can introduce that with the math tools. The proper documents are available in the corresponding TUG website, TUG users group.
Okay, thank you, sir. அடுத்த question, is it necessary to type end statement just after beginning the document? Is it necessary to type the end statement just after the beginning document?
End statement.
അതെ അതെ, end statement ടൈപ്പ് ചെയ്ത് കൊടുക്കേണ്ടത് അത്യാവശ്യമാണോ എന്നാണ് ചോദിച്ചിരിക്കുന്നത്. ജസ്റ്റ് ആഫ്റ്റർ ബിഗിൻ ഡോക്യുമെന്റ്. എനിക്ക് തോന്നുന്നു സാർ ഇടയ്ക്കൊന്ന് കാണിച്ചിട്ടുണ്ടായിരുന്നല്ലോ ഒരു /.
This is not the end statement command. This is a command which is required to go to the next line. Usually in a report or thesis, we don't need to use these types of commands because usually we write something in paragraphs, anything in paragraphs, and we will be introducing equations in a displayed formula. So for example, in my thesis I never used these types of commands. Okay, so you don't need to use these types of commands. So if I run this, I can show you that the corresponding sentences will be following the first this step in this. Okay, this is the way the output will be if I remove that commands. So actually you need your document in this way, and no such double slashes are required. But in when multiple equations or tables or matrices are there, you need to go, when you need to clearly say that you are going to or moving to next line, then you need a double slash. For example, here in the multiple equations we introduced a double slash here and not here. Okay, so here we used a double slash, here we used a double slash, and not here because this is the last line of your multiple equations. The corresponding command also I have shown that.
Okay.
Yeah, you can
Sir,
see that.
അടുത്തൊരു ക്വസ്റ്റ്യൻ, ടാബുലേഷൻസ് പോസിബിൾ ആണോ എന്നാണ് ചോദിച്ചിരിക്കുന്നത്. ഈ ഒരു പ്ലാറ്റ്ഫോമിൽ നമ്മൾ ഇപ്പൊ എക്സലിലൊക്കെ ചെയ്യുന്നത് പോലെ ആയിരിക്കാം, ടാബുലേഷൻസ് ഇതിനകത്ത് ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റുമോ എന്നുള്ളത് ക്വസ്റ്റ്യൻ ചോദിച്ചിട്ടുണ്ട്.
Yes, tabulation is possible. There is a command for table. Okay, so the table command is very easy, as like in figure you have seen. So there is a command to begin table in the first one, and the last command should be the end table. Now what is the tabular command? Is the table arrangement, or I will show you with the one just example. If I type 1 and 2 and 3, 2 and 3, then you can see that something and a label. If I run that, you can see a table, simply a table is formed with 1, 2 and 3. So you can see that a 1, 2, 3 is formed. Now in order to provide that necessary grid lines, or what you call as the horizontal or vertical lines, we just need to tell the LaTeX that some horizontal line is required as the first line, and some horizontal line is required as the last line. Okay, so if I place like that, you can see that the corresponding command will be, sorry, the corresponding output will be yeah, you can see that 1, 2 and 3. So here I think I have inserted additional line here. Okay, so multiple columns, multiple rows, etc. Everything is possible using this table and arrangement. Okay.
Okay, sir, one last
commands,
question.
I mistyped some commands, that is why that command is wrong. Yes.
So one last question. Can we easily detect and debug if errors occurred?
Yes, that depends on your editor as well, because here you can see that I mistyped some commands, and in the bottom, I don't know whether it is possible to see, there are 4 errors. Okay, so for example, if I didn't use a dollar symbol before the math expression, it will tell you that a missing dollar is inserted. Other than saying that a dollar is missing, they will say that a missing dollar is inserted. For example, if I insert an equation, or let us check the first part. So I am going to remove a dollar sign from here somewhere. So $1 is here, and if I remove the one important dollar sign from here, it will say that $1 is missing. By saying that, okay, the question is about the yes, missing dollar is inserted. Can you see that? In this type, you can identify the type of the error and hence solve that. They will clearly tell that in which line number that error is occurred, and you can directly go to that error by clicking the corresponding error line and then edit that. But it is not easy to identify the way they are the error reporting is done. So you need to be careful more while typing your LaTeX documents.
Okay, thank you, sir. I think we are at the time is going to end. So with this, we'll wind up the session, and let me make an announcement about the tomorrow's online class schedule. At 12:15 a.m., we have classes for MSc Chemistry students, Cartesian and Special Polar Coordinates, Module 1. And from 2:45 onwards, Quantum Theory of Paramagnetism, Module 4 for MSc students.
So once again, thank you all.
I request all the participants to make your feedback, mark the responses appropriately after this session. And I thank you, sir, once again from the side of ASAP and from all the participants side for spending your valuable time with us.